If we end up getting the End of Evangelion ending, I'll be cool with it. Yeah. The anime is technically on break, so it leaves more time for the manga to explore further. The chapter continues the trend of comedy that is pretty fun to read, but slowly remind us that the worst is yet to come. First comes laughter with joy, then comes potential heartbreak and breakdown. The chapter shifts back and forth with its serious tone and comedy tones, though it works the way that Gintama is familiar with its timing. It knows that we need to mellow out for a moment when it matches with its nature. It syncs well with its shift due to how well it gels together as well as how it segues with the current topic. In the beginning, it starts with a really nice moment of gathering all members in one field. We see the name of the group as well as the numbers of familiar faces. It's a good way to report the condition as well as showing the remaining characters that are currently out, such as QB. That said, it is worrisome to note that they can't afford to repeat the same fate as before due to many sacrifices and wounded people. It actually plays a part that only urges you to panic. The nice part of this conversation is how everyone input their opinions on the situation, but when it comes to Yorozuya, it has that small sense of kind words from Shinpachi. It is amazing on how far they have gotten. Kagura's word, on the other hand, is funny. I waited for Gintoki's words, and man, I certainly got something different. The skit with Hetero and Gintoki is pretty funny when you take a look at the scope of Hetero's potential. What's the best thing to do with an overpowered character? Place him as an Eva. Of course! That makes perfect sense! No, really, it actually does. If you're overpowered, you might as well be an Eva. Or should I say Heva. It's laughable to see Gintoki has somehow created a control with both flowers, one in which controls the demon side and the other the angel side. The dumbest part is how he uses the demon side for the use of straight man routine. He took Shinpachi's job. What's asinine is that it strikes drastically for the straight man moment. It's no different with the follow-up, so it's nothing but destruction. But it's cool. Gintoki is here to save the day. My favorite part is when Kondo wants to take on Heva, but denies making any comment. I thought it was going to be an epic standoff, but instead, nothing. Why? It's because he's not human. He's a subhuman primate. Ouch. I have nothing against him, but he really walked into that one. It's hilarious how Hetero stops for a roach and Gintoki flies out to the point he can finally rest. That's one way to make him rest. If you can't beat him, throw him. After Otai trying to kill Gintoki with Heva, it does transition to more of a sweet moment with Yorozuya. I still remember the time where Shinpachi and Kagura wants to train only for Gintoki to not to help them in a way. It's comical, but it's like a circle being formed. It's such a nice moment of Gintoki acknowledging their growth. It is a bit of a shame that they didn't get to hear, but that sincere face of his expresses a lot of proudness for both of them. I hope to see a great closure. I do like how they acknowledge that Gintoki has fought a lot, so they give him a time to rest. Finally, someone says something about that. Sadly, it's not without series of misfortune. Shachan tries to get the pleasure, if you know what I mean. He kicks her though. Then he receives pandemonia, which I admit, it creeped me out. Lastly, he's like, the hell with this, I'll get drunk to sleep. That works until Tsukuyo gets a sip somehow, and well, no idea from this point on. I do wonder if there is going to be a follow-up. Seriously, I'm really curious. Admittedly, it's a wording chapter due to the comedy skit. The anime would benefit for those who wants the jokes being told rather than read. Even so, if you do read it carefully, the comedy still delivers in a proper fashion. It's also funny how the visual transitions to one moment after another. It goes from nice to ridiculous night once we see Heva. Come to think of it, what is Heva? That armor is not what I expected, but only Gintama. The ending has a mix of both serious and comedy, though all around troubling. It slowly builds up with Gengai has been missing for a while, though the dialogues have a funny way to mix in with Gintoki's unfortunate moments. But the real kicker is Gengai is caught by Yato clan. Can he at least take a crap one last time? Seriously, I was afraid of this. What's worse is the Yato clan, at least this team, is actually playing smart rather than going for a fight. They actually went for the one behind the virus, and they got him when everyone least expected. So this is some twist that could only mean the worst. Early on, they established that they can't afford reinforcement for Liberation Army, but if Gengai ends up giving up and reverse the solution, then true hell will come. This got me riled up. It's another fun comedy chapter with a lot of good heart feeling moments. It's clear that the series is taking a break before entering the next day with a hope to be lesser than the first day. Unfortunately, the twist with Yato clan potentially open up for reinforcement, it only screams the darkest hour is upon them. I'm giving this chapter an 8. Now I think about it, these Yato clan are savages. I mean, they didn't even let Gengai finish his job. The man has dignity. Savages. What are your thoughts of this chapter? Do you think somebody would save Gengai, or is it too late for him and then we're gonna have more reinforcement from the Liberation Army? I do believe Shinshin Gumi are going to show up and fight. I don't know if they could stop them completely because these are Yato clan and there are so many of them. This isn't like using a trickery like Shogun assassination arc, but we'll see. I do like the tension that Shorochi left us with the idea that if Gengai is captured and then he reversed the effect, then we're screwed. If he doesn't reverse the effect, then everything will be okay, even though they're still a bit a disadvantage. They don't need to have more disadvantage on their side. And that will do it for today's review. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.